The big movie news over the weekend, which broke during Comic-Con, was that James Gunn has been fired as the writer-director of the Guardians of the Galaxy series. He did volumes 1 and 2, massively successful films, and they're great. They're among my favorites in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And he was set to do volume 3. And a bunch of pressure got put on Disney to fire him after tweets that he wrote like 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Admittedly, crass, inappropriate tweets, some jokes, trying to be provocative, trying to be edgy. He has apologized for them. He has addressed them.
He has deleted them.
He has deleted them. You're right, but Mark Cernovich.
Mike,
I wish you could see Alonso's eye roll. Will you do the eye roll again for me? Mike Cernovich has unearthed them once more, and there was a massive campaign to put pressure on Disney to fire James Gunn. So that is what happened over the weekend, like on Friday, like during Comic-Con, which made that news seem even more dramatic. What are our thoughts on this?
Oh, well, this is what we call bad faith fascism. I think that this is a hullabaloo that is cooked up by people who are targeting Trump opponents, vocal Trump opponents.
Which he has been one of.
And yes, the tweets were gross and in bad taste and whatever. No one's defending the tweets. But this is clearly a manufactured outrage because the people on the right will never tell their actual pedophile candidate to step down, but will fire our director who made tacky jokes about pedophilia.
Right, yeah, there's a difference between like saying something totally crass about Me Too and like making a dumb joke and trying to be edgy and maybe it falls flat.
Yeah,
that's what happened here.
As somebody pointed out, the difference between James Gunn and Roseanne is that pedophilia jokes are not pedophilia, but racism jokes are racism.
That's exactly right. That's the, well, I mean, Alonso really said it, and mostly though, you can't allow guys like Mike Cernovich to dictate the discourse in this country. That is a huge mistake to allow him to win. So regardless of how you feel about the tweets, and the tweets are crass and inappropriate, but they are a while ago, and he did apologize, and he hasn't made them recently. And as long as you can, without question, despite what Ted Cruz tried to maintain yesterday, as long as they're obviously to a reasonable person attempts at humor, and not jokes about a pedophile making pedophilia jokes, then you were making an enormous mistake to bow to this fake pressure and fake outrage. I mean, it is a huge mistake. You have to fight people like Mike Cernovich and not cede ground to them. It is a gargantuan mistake because they will just go after more and more and more.
Right, the precedent's been set now. There's somebody very influential, someone who has, the capacity to create a franchise that makes a lot of money. If he can get booted.
But here's the thing, Cernovich went after Sam Seder at MSNBC. MSNBC fired Sam Seder and then kind of realized, oh wait, who is this Cernovich guy? And then kind of walked it back and hired him back. I would not be surprised if, because you've got people like Dave Bautista and Zoe Saldana coming out in Gunn's favor. I would not be surprised if Disney eventually caves on this one because I think they reacted in the heat of the moment and didn't realize what they were dealing with.
There is a petition, right? There's a petition and there's a hashtag, rehire James Gunn. Last I saw on change.org, there were a couple 100,000 signatures already. So there is a big campaign underway to have him brought back. But yeah, Ben, you mentioned Ted Cruz. Or did you mention Ted Cruz?
Ted
Cruz. He also brought out these tweets to say that if this is true, if true, James Gunn should be prosecuted. And so he's just basically like leeching onto this. And Ted Cruz has no room to have any moral high ground.
How do you feel about Jim Jordan, Ted Cruz? Should he be prosecuted?
Yeah.
You think?
How do you feel about Roy Moore?
Roy Moore, yes, exactly. So so this is.
Or the president.
Yeah, so there's no room for any kind of moral high ground here. But we will follow this. I'm hoping this is not the last we are hearing about this story. I'm hoping that really like enough pressure from the other direction changes and James Gunn comes back. Because a lot of it, which is a sad irony, is that the Guardians of the Galaxy are people who made mistakes and learn from their mistakes and learn to become the better version of themselves for the greater good. And that's what he himself, James Gunn, has said about his involvement with this series.
Exactly. I mean, they hired him from, he was the trauma guy. They knew what they were getting into here. I'm so happy I didn't own a computer till I was 30 because I would not want stuff for my teens and 20s following me around on the internet.
Very quickly, I'm sorry, in 10 seconds. This is not about James Gunn. He'll be fine. Somebody else will hire him even if he doesn't get hired back. What's critical here is standing up to these guys. Don't let them dictate what's happening. That's a huge mistake.